Monster RX93.1 presents All Out, your daily morning pick-me-up. All out hits, all out celebrity interviews, all out sports and showbiz news. Your hosts, Rico Robles and Karla Aguas.
How's everybody doing? Have a great day because it's going to be a great day today. This guy travels everywhere, gets the content out there, gets you informed. But here's the catchy part. He's going to be celebrating his birthday next week or sometime soon. And he's kind of running out of ideas. So he would want to reach out to you, the Monsters, to help him out of how he will celebrate a quarantine birthday. And he would want everybody to be a part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always glad to have him back. He's here in Manila. He's here in the country. He's usually in Hong Kong or other parts of the world, featuring different things. Ladies and gentlemen, to join us here on All Out, give it up for Richard Juan.
Hey, what's up, everyone? How are you guys doing?
Hi, Richard. We're good. How are you?
Can be better.
I think we all.
Yeah, last time when we were all together, I think everything was still fine. We were still at the studio talking, chilling.
Yeah.
And now we are extreme social distancing, very far from each other.
That's so true. Okay, since you mentioned anyway, social distancing, before we get to the interview, how have you been? Because like what Rico said, you do travel a lot. You know, shell back from place to place. And with this entire quarantine, I mean, it put a stop on basically everything. So when the lockdown happened, were you here in Manila? And if so, what have you been up to for the past couple of months? I think we're on month 5 now. Oh my gosh. I mean, how are you?
I think when the lockdown, I mean, the lockdown was on March 15, I think, or was it March 16, the first day of it. And I've been in Manila since January, first week of January.
Okay.
Yeah, before the lockdown, I was shooting for a show called Love Thy Woman on ABS-CBN. And which is why I had to be here in Manila anyway. So yeah, I guess that's what I was busy doing, initially. But because of the whole lockdown, because of all that stuff, taping got stopped, and we only resumed recently. But yeah, I mean, I've been here in Manila for a while now, and then well, we've been in, like I said, lockdown for 4 months now, 130 plus days. That's 1/3 of our year gone, just like that. My God, it's crazy. But I've been trying to be productive. I've been doing a lot of things at home. I don't want it to be, how do I say this? I don't want it to be something where it's time wasted. I want to be productive, but of course it's hard to also be productive given how things are right now in this world. And not going to get too political, but I think we're at a better place. And I mean, at the start of the whole quarantine thing, I read all messages about how the frontliners were struggling. They needed protective gears and all that. And I was fortunate enough to have friends and family back home in Hong Kong where they were able to kind of give me some supply. I had to, negotiate with them. In Hong Kong, it was also the pandemic.
Yeah,
crazy back in March too. But I was able to find a supplier to at least bring some over here, and to help out the frontliners a little bit. So that was what kept me busy in the first 2 months, trying to coordinate almost on a daily basis with the supplier in Hong Kong and the DHL FedEx, because it took forever, because of the customs and all that. But besides that, I've been trying to also study a little bit, study a bit here and there, try to be productive, trying to shoot here and there also. But, it's tough. It's tough for the mental health, I'm sure, for a lot of people out there too. So, yeah.
I mean, it's great that, you share that story of helping the frontliners with the PPEs, galing eh, with you reaching out to your friends and family in Hong Kong. What were the challenges? You did mention about it, that the customs and all that, but when you got it through, how do you choose the hospitals? How do you choose the ones to give?
Actually, that's the thing. It's difficult. It's difficult to bring them over here because the demand for it was so high and the supply was low. We're in a pandemic. The whole world's in trouble. The whole world needs PPEs. And I guess the first challenge really was to convince them to find a supplier rather, and then convince them to, hey, allocate a little bit for the Philippines somehow. I mean, I'll pay for it and all that. We'll pay for all the freight and everything. But, I just thought that I mean, living here in the Philippines for the last 10 years, I feel like I should be using my resources in Hong Kong or something like that, just to support here, just support the Philippines. And that was the, challenge number one. Challenge number two was to get through customs,
Yeah.
Because there were so many people who are trying to take advantage of the situation. They've been trying to source from out there and trying to sell it at extreme high rates here. And, customs are just being careful. They see that I've been bringing in some. They don't know whether or not I'm actually just reselling them or really donating them, So that was another challenge to kind of convince them. And I guess the third challenge is to choose which hospital to donate to. Mm-hmm. And for me, I guess I just really went for the ones that are relatively smaller, the ones that I know do not have as many, let's say, people donating to. And I made a rule also that it has to be a public hospital, because these are the ones that probably do not get as much fundings or as much support as they probably would wish to have at the start of the whole pandemic and whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Richard, I just want to commend you because, you are really such an incredible human being. Like, I mean that with my whole heart. You're such a young guy, but you are so socially responsible and aware of what's going on. And I love how somebody like you with your platform is really using your platform, your resources to help out. I think that that's so inspiring and touching and convicting, especially at a time like this when everyone is struggling and we all have to think outside of ourselves, So, I mean, thank you, really, honestly, for being such a beacon of light and love during this time. It's incredible what you've been doing. And, you said earlier, you were here since Jan, you were filming for the soap opera, and then all of this happened, right? I mean, was there a point, though, before you started helping out the hospitals where you were kind of, whoa, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I mean, did you for a week just sit in your room like, I don't know where I'm going to go. Am I going to go back to Hong Kong? What was that process for you like before you sat down and you were like, okay, no, I'm going to use this time wisely? I mean, before that, were you like the rest of us, like a headless chicken? Like, I don't know what to do. Do I do the groceries? Like, I mean, what was that like?
That's funny that you brought that up, because in a way, we've been quarantined for so long that I already kind of forgot what happened during that first week. And now that I think about it, I think during the whole week, the first week, I was like, yeah, what do I do? Like, everything is canceled. Like, I mean, I remember, like, we were supposed to tape the show for a long while, but now that all of that is gone, what do I do? And I guess I spent a lot of time on social media during the first week because I just suddenly have all these time, And then that was when I saw a lot of messages. People are asking me, sending me DMs and sending me tweets saying, hey, do you have any sources for PPEs or face masks? Because back in January, they remember seeing me doing something similar. I during January, it was the Al volcano, right? They were there. Yeah. And then people were desperately needing for an N95 face mask, which people saw that I donated a lot of those, and they automatically associated me to like medical supplies. So I was getting like a huge amount of messages saying, hey, do you still have N95 face masks? This is not just, from my friends and family or fans, and also fans rather. And they were like, oh, can you please support us here in this hospital? Because we are the frontliners here. And I guess that was kind of what started and triggered me to do that for the first at least month and a half or two. During this whole quarantine. So I guess that kind of helped keep me busy. So it kind of helped me forget about, we're in a pandemic. What am I supposed to do? But of course, there are still downtimes in between. And I figured that it's something in me where I'm so used to trying to be productive with my time. And I don't like having idle time. I don't like just chilling and doing nothing, and because that just doesn't make me feel good. And again, I mean, we're all different people. I have friends out there who would who are in a sense happy that they have the time to finally do things that they like to do and want to do, but they've been busy with taping, with shoots, or with other businesses that don't get to have this so-called free time, or rather blessed to have this free time. And so and I guess that's kind of what just kept me busy in the first 2 weeks and inspired me to do these work to support frontliners.
And also on your YouTube, we've come to witness you doing a mask, something with the mask that you put water.
Oh
yeah, you were doing this test, and that's also educating people. So what led you to come out with your YouTube with the education and educating people and sharing knowledge about it?
It's funny because that video was kind of inspired by a friend of mine back then who worked in the medical field, and because she was telling me how everyone should not be spraying alcohol to their face mask because that kind of like ruins the coating of it or something like that. And at first I was skeptical. I didn't think that it was true because you're disinfecting something that's been out, and what bad thing would happen to that? And when I did the experiment, I was just shocked to see that, oh my God, it's actually started leaking right away when you right away when you spray the bottom of it. And I guess it just proves the theory right that the coating is just ruined if you spray alcohol to it. So again, right here, if I can tell everyone that, hey, do not reuse surgical face masks and do not reuse them by spraying them, because when it's sprayed, you ruined it na talaga.
Richard, this is incredible because I know I keep saying that word, but I mean, you're known also for your social media accounts, for your platform online. And when this happened, did you also have a little sit down with yourself like, okay, like moving forward, I'm going to try my best that some of the content that I'm going to create is going to be educational and informative for this time? Because your content has always been that. You've always been very vocal, very honest. And you're a very smart guy. I mean, people don't know this, but you graduated. Please share. Please share. What?
No, I sound like I'm bragging, but
no. You graduated what? Please share.
I graduated cum laude from UP a couple years back. Don't want to say too long ago. A couple years back.
So,
and yeah.
I mean, not to brag, but cum laude right here. So, with that being said, your content now, do you think that that's something that you purposefully wanted to do? Like it was intentional? Moving forward, my content's going to have a little bit of information and education for everybody during this uncertain, weird time.
I think my content for the last couple years has always been somehow infotainment in that sense. Mm-hmm. And it's just that, especially now that we are in a pandemic, I feel like I have such a big platform that I'm very blessed to have. And I think that, hey, it's responsible for me to maximize this and to disseminate information and not spread fake news. And again, I'm so blessed and fortunate to have so many people want to watch my content. And if I'm only spreading, fake news, if I don't talk about relevant things, if I don't talk about things that people don't want to talk about, what's the point of having this platform,
Yeah. And you did mention about talking about certain things, right? And were you ever, like the first time you did it, were you ever scared of reactions? Was there something you'd be like, oh, I'm excited to hear the reaction? Or were you like, oh man, I wonder what they're going to say about me?
I think to be honest, like before I would say my content or things I say are relatively safe. And I think because of the pandemic and because of how everything kind of like goes back to square one, I feel like everyone's back to square one. We all have to rely on ourselves to create content. And I feel like, it's about time to just really speak your mind and tell people what you really feel about a lot of things that are, let's say, bothering you. Let's say things that you want to see change. And I'm not gonna lie, the first couple of times I or until now actually, I still fear the so-called bashers in a way. But at the end of the day, I feel like I say things that make sense anyway. I don't feel like I'm saying things just for the sake of creating content, just for the sake of view, just for the sake of reaction. I say things because I strongly believe in something, and I strongly believe that things have to be changed and things have to there has to be action in terms of what things are not really going the direction that it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
Let's say, for example, like, I mean, again, not going too political, but our COVID cases keep going up in comparison to, let's say, Vietnam, Thailand, countries just around us. And
Yeah.
I wish that there is a change, and I wish that something can be done sooner. And I'm not a medical expert. I'm not I'm not into politics. I'm not into political science or anything like that. So I don't know what the right things are, but I know that other countries are doing something that is leading them to the right direction. But so far, we're still getting there.
Mm.
And it's great that you're using your platform to be like the voice of the youth. You know what I mean? To
Yes,
speak out, and that's a great thing. Okay, so how do you deal with it? How do you deal with haters and admirers?
Because let's preface this by saying that, Richard, when we first guested you ever, the one in the booth when life was normal and safe, people were freaking out already. They were like, oh my God, that is my ultimate Chinito crush. That guy is like literally what the dream Chinito would look like. Cut to, we told people we were going to have you on the show today. They started going crazy. Like, oh my God, he looks like this Korean actor and he's my ultimate crush. And so, I mean, obviously you are well loved. So let's cut this question into two. First, how do you handle all of these like declarations of love and people saying, oh my God, Richard, like marry me. You're like my soulmate, blah, blah, blah. I mean, does it still surprise you? Does it still shock you? Do you still get like kilig, awkward? Like, how does that work?
I mean, honestly, I've been in this industry for the last 5 years. Every single day, every single message that I read, I still feel the word that I use, very kilig and very flattered. I mean, I still cannot believe there are so many people who, until this day, I mean, I used to think that maybe I'm just going to be in this industry for 2 years. And after that, people will get tired of the things I say, get tired of how I look. Because, I mean, we live in a very fast-paced world right now, and things just change so quickly. And I used to think that, hey, maybe people are just going to get tired of me. But, 5 years later, here I am. I'm still here. My followers are still growing, my supporters are still growing, and they're still here. My day ones are still here. Shout out to all the wanderers out there. And it's such a privilege, to have these people who still support me since day one, and this family just keeps growing. I call them my wanderers family, and we actually have a Korean name now. Funny, it's called Hanadu, and it's kind of cute. Which actually means
Hanadu.
Yeah, Hanadu. Like it's just like a Korean fandom name that we come up with. Hana, which means actually one in Korean, and Richard Juan. So, well, that kind of happened. That's kind of so it's such a interesting dynamics that we have. It's not just fans and celebrity. Like we have a little family, a little community that we have. And a week ago, actually, we started a little Korean class thing where we have a wanderer who actually was teaching me and 15 other students how to speak Korean. So, I say this from the bottom of my heart is I really feel so lucky and privileged to have these people not only support me, but also even teach me things, And I want to encourage other people or other even celebrities out there that, hey, these supporters aren't just fans. They also have something to really to offer. And classic example for me is my wonders. They are able to teach me Korean, and hey, I mean, I save up on Korean classes, I guess.
Okay, that's cute, that's sweet, that's great. Now, like Rico said, Richard, with the love comes the, I really don't want to say hate. Let's use a lighter word.
Trolling and bashing.
Yeah, okay, fine, Rico, just put it out there. How do you deal with it, especially now when people got a lot more time, people are stuck at home, people might not realize their anxiety is actually also attributing to them feeling so negative. How do you deal with the negativity that comes your way?
I think for me, I mean, I might sound a bit conceited here, but it's kind of hard to bash me in the sense that you gotta go far from the main topic in order to bash me. I mean, I do things. Everything that I do, I don't feel like there's anything that I do, or at least I'd like to believe that I don't do too many things that is too controversial in a sense that I try to do things that support the community. I do things that are factual. I don't know what you can go besides, hey, saying that, because the biggest thing that I get from a lot of people is they say that, hey, you're not even Filipino. Why are you pretending to be Filipino? Oh, why are you pretending to be blah blah blah, whatever? Yeah, go back to China. Oh, you're the cause of the virus. Those are the only things, or those are the main things that I get, especially during this pandemic. So how do I deal with that? I guess in a way, those are annoying. Those are just things that are clear that it's just quote unquote bola lang eh. Parang like they just can't find anything else and just go, what's that term that they use? Ad only? Like what's that? There's a lot. Ad hominem?
Probably something super smart, Rico. We probably don't know this. It's cum laude vocabulary.
Very defined. Yeah.
Like basically, parang just to say that, just to find something to bash me about,
Yeah.
and I try to stay as neutral with a lot of things, and I just voice out things that I don't choose political. I don't choose political sides. I just say what I see, and people usually think that I'm supporting this party or that party, but I don't. I'm just stating facts that are comparing things,
All right, so we got that was like a serious little segment, Rico. He kept going on about the things. Let's get to some lighter stuff. Okay, Richard, you said you've been in the industry 5 years. I mean, you thought you were only going to be in it for maybe 2. Like, do you see yourself staying in the showbiz industry for a little while longer? Because I mean, you guys started taping again finally, right?
Yeah.
After a little bit of a break, now you're taping for Love Thy Woman again. Are you enjoying it? Like, I mean, is this something that you see yourself doing for a little bit longer?
Actually, well, that's a funny thing. We just stopped taping again because that's the end already. And
okay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but it's sad to say, but our show actually got cut short because of the pandemic and because of the situation that's going on. But like I mentioned earlier, the show was supposed to last a lot longer, and it was actually my first acting gig, or my first acting role where I play a regular in the series. But again, it's unfortunate because of how things are that we had to cut short the show. But I definitely enjoyed my first regular acting show because I've always I've tried so many things. I've tried so many things. You guys mentioned earlier. I did a lot of traveling. I did a lot of hosting also. I did modeling, and I did YouTube also. And the only thing that was kind of lacking was the TV side, the acting side. And I mean, I gave up long time ago with singing and dancing because that's definitely not my thing. to actually do acting was such an honor. And my first show was with Kim Chiu and Sian Lim, Eula Valdez, Sunshine Cruz. These are all such amazing actors and actresses. And it was such an honor to have my first show with them. And of course, my management with Star Hunt, I have to thank them for getting me this role also. So do I really want to stay in this industry? I think I would say yes. I really want to explore acting a little bit more. And of course, besides acting, instead of everything in front of the camera, I also want to do things behind the camera. So maybe be more the producing side, because I recently also started something small with some of my friends, just to do more production related things. And we're still in the soft launch, but maybe if once we've officially launched it, maybe I can come guest and talk about that too in the future. But just a little teaser for now.
Yes. Shotgun dibs. We've got Richard for that breaking story. Okay, that's awesome that you just said here, Monster exclusive. You do wanna stay a little bit more, explore this industry a little bit more. What are some of your dream roles then? Like, what roles would you love to portray if you were given like a movie or another show?
Ninja.
Yeah.
I think my what I really want to do is probably like a kontrabida somehow. But
Aww.
but that would probably be a couple more years down the road. Because I mean, look at this face. This is still like this is still not a kontrabida face. Maybe if I look a little bit older, maybe I can finally start growing a beard somehow. Then baka mas bagay pa kontrabida. But for now, I think I want to say that's a dream role, but I think that I would say that's a role that I really want to try. Of being the bad person. And for now, I would love to explore any roles out there. And there's so many things, it's acting it. Like you're not being who you really are, and you're trying to be someone else. And it's something that I really want to explore a lot more.
Richard, Karla and I are directors. You're about to audition for a kontrabida. Can you give us your the meanest face that you could give?
Oh my God!
On the spot.
Okay, let's try doing that.
Serious.
Try doing that. A very mean face.
Tape rolling. 3, 2, 1.
I can't. I can't. This is too happy. This is too happy.
I'm sorry. As people said, it's too much of a cutie kontrabida. Oh my God.
It's still a cutie face, but I'm like, I still need some time,
You might end up being that kontrabida that like is mean, and then people are just like, oh,
yeah,
look at it. Look at him trying to be.
And of course, I still need to do more workshops. I've only had one workshop, and I was very fortunate to have Love Thy Woman right away. But I still need workshops, definitely.
They say that in each project there's always a takeaway, especially with Love Thy Woman. Direct Andoy Ranay, it's a star-studded. You have Christopher
De Leon.
There. What are the takeaways that you've come to learn from that show?
I think my biggest takeaway from this is just the fact that I got to really have the experience with such stellar cast, at the get-go, at my first teleserye. And my role was it's not just just like an extra lang. I was very fortunate to be in a lot of scenes with all these great actors and actresses. I was in my very first scene. I remember I was actually with Kim Chiu na agad, and then I also had a scene with Miss Yula Valdez, such a great actress, such a great veteran actress. But ang galing, like I still remember before one of the scenes that we had was she was supposed to play us. She was supposed to be very masungit, and I was supposed to be masungit in a way. And medyo kinakabahan ako kasi like my role was, I'm someone that's usually very jolly. And once the thing is when it comes to acting, you get what you're fed. And so when Miss Yula was being such a mean person to me on the set or on the scene mismo, but I felt like, hey, kailangan ko din mag to bring up my A game and to show them that, hey, I'm also very mean. Like I kind of got fed off the energy, and it kind of worked. That's how acting is, I guess.
So in comes that mean look again that we showed earlier. You showed that.
Let's save that for next time. Let's save that.
Yeah. For I want, because I have to see this kontrabida look live. I have to see it in person. Somebody actually said, "Oh my, you might be the first kontrabida that we wouldn't hate or return." I mean, that's adorable.
All Out with Rico and Karla. All Out music and all out fun. Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. only on Manila's hottest Monster RX93.1.